guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be counting down some of the best opening scenes in horror. Film openings are important, especially in the horror genre. They set the tone for the rest of the film, and they really let the audience know what's in store. First, I'm going to be talking about It Follows. It Follows is about a teenage girl named Jay who is relentlessly followed by an unknown supernatural force after a sexual encounter. The film opens up with another girl named Annie who is running from something that we cannot see. She's flustered and she's absolutely terrified, and she's not seeking help from anybody around her, including her father, because she can't get help from them. She can't get help from this thing that's chasing her. We then see Annie as she frantically drives away from her house and ends up on a beach in the middle of the night, and then we see her fate, and it's horrific. This opening to It Follows is confusing, it's chaotic, it's fast-paced, and it's bleak. It really lets you know that whatever this thing is, this supernatural force that's chasing people, is relentless, and it's not going to stop until you're dead. And this supernatural force is brutal. Next, I'm going to be talking about Dawn of the Dead from 2004. Dawn of the Dead is a remake of the George Romero classic, and it follows a group of survivors who are taking refuge in a local shopping mall during a zombie apocalypse. Dawn of the Dead opens with our lead, Anna, played by Sarah Polley, as she's finishing up her shift at the hospital and she's about to spend a romantic evening with her husband. And then a few hours later pass by and we see her next door neighbor, who's a young little girl, is clearly turned into a zombie, and she attacks the husband. And then within a few minutes, the husband turns into a zombie himself, and he attacks Anna very violently. Anna eventually manages to escape her house and drive away, and then she quickly realizes that whatever this sickness is has made it to the rest of the world too. The opening to this film is violent, it's fast-paced, and it leads into the fantastic opening credits, which has Johnny Cash's When the Man Comes Around playing over it to some really haunting real-life imagery. This opening immediately sets the tone for the rest of the movie. It creates an unsafe and uneasy environment where we don't know if our protagonist or any of the main characters are going to be safe. It really makes you sit on the edge of your seat with anticipation and wonder what's going to happen next. Who is going to turn into a zombie next? And we soon discover that what's in store for our characters is even crazier than this opening scene. Next, I'm going to be talking about 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later follows a man who awakens from a coma to discover that an incurable virus has ravaged the UK. He finds a group of survivors, and together they seek sanctuary from the madness. However, they realize that the sanctuary might not be so great after all. 28 Days Later opens in a science lab where a bunch of chimpanzees are being experimented on, and this group of animal activists breaks in and decides that they're going to free these chimpanzees from the experiments. But what they don't realize is that the chimps are infected with a violent rage virus, even though they're warned by one of the scientists. This beginning is infuriating because they just are very careless, and while their intentions are good, you just want to scream at them to get out and not unleash the chimps from their cages, because you know that it's just gonna lead to madness. It's going to destroy their country. This opening is extremely dark, moody, and bleak. It's extremely unsettling and almost hard to watch, because when the chimp is released, he pretty viciously attacks this woman, and then within seconds she turns into a zombie, or she becomes infected with the rage virus, and you see how quickly the rage virus works. It lets you know how deadly this virus is and how quick it is, how fast it moves. Right off the bat, 28 Days Later lets you know what this movie is about, what's in store, and really what you're going to be getting with this movie, and it's not pretty. Next, I'm going to be talking about Demon Knight. Demon Knight follows ex-soldier Frank Breaker, played by William Sadler, who is the guardian of an ancient key that can unlock tremendous evil. He's being hunted by the sinister but charming Collector, a demon who wants the key so he can initiate the apocalypse. Breaker finally stops at a boarding house where he must face off against the Collector and his band of demons hell-bent on seizing the key. The opening of Demon Knight sets you smack dab in the middle of a car chase. We immediately meet Breaker and know that he is running from something. He's on the run from this person who likes to wear cowboy hats, and Filter's Hey Man Nice Shot is playing while these two cars are racing down the road. I love the vibes of this opening. I can never not hear Filter's Hey Man Nice Shot without thinking of this opening. This opening wastes no time setting up the film and introducing our main character. We can tell from Breaker and through his emotions that he's on the run from a dangerous guy, and that's due in large part to William Sadler's performance. Everything about this scenario and the characters feel gritty and rough around the edges, and I think that the opening to this film conveys all of that perfectly within a matter of minutes. Next, I'm going to be talking about The Ring. The Ring follows Rachel, a journalist who investigates a cursed videotape that seemingly kills the viewer 7 days after watching it. The Ring opens with two teenage girls who are having a sleepover, and they start talking about this cursed videotape that seemingly kills people 7 days after they watch it. And one of the girls has watched the film, and it is now the 7th day. She's on edge, she's super nervous, and you can tell that she feels uneasy, that she believes in this curse. So we believe in this curse. I'll tell you this, the opening of The Ring scared the crap out of me, and my younger brother likes to tease me and say that after seeing this movie, I slept in my parents' bedroom for like a week, and that's not true, okay? I did not do that, but there's nothing wrong with that, okay? You might need to do that. You might need to sleep with the lights on if this is your first time. The opening wastes no time establishing the crux of the film or the deadly aftermath of the curse. It also conjures up a lot of questions. What is this curse? How does it work? How does it kill you? Where did it come from? And that makes you want to continue watching so you can follow Rachel on her journey as she uncovers the origins of the curse. Next, I'm going to be talking about Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship follows a boat salvage crew who uncover the eerie remains of a grand passenger liner ship that has been lost at sea for 40 years. Once aboard the ship, they soon discover it may not be abandoned after all. Some may argue that the only good thing about Ghost Ship is its opening, and you're not wrong, but I don't think the film is that bad overall. It's a cheesy, fun horror film. The film opens on a liner cruise ship from 1962, and they're having a party on board. We follow through the eyes of this young little girl, and she's dancing with the ship's captain, and we see as a wire unravels and slices through everybody on the dance floor, including the captain, and she's ultimately safe from this wire because of her short height. But it is brutal, and it's vicious and gory and bloody, and it's just super fun even though it's horrible what's happening. The opening scene is very over the top. It really gets you excited for the rest of the film, and while the rest of the movie doesn't have any scenes that compare to the opening, it's still an enjoyable, fun ride. Next, I'm going to be talking about Scream. Scream from 1996 follows high school student Sydney Prescott in her fight for survival against a mysterious mass killer named Ghostface. Scream opens with another teen girl named Casey, played by Drew Barrymore, as she answers a random call from a stranger. The call starts off innocently. They're playfully flirting back and forth about their night, and then quickly the caller on the other end reveals their sinister intentions. This all culminates with the murder of Casey, which was shocking to audiences at the time because Drew Barrymore was and is a huge actress, and she was thought to be the star of the film. So when you kill off your star within the first 5 minutes, it really sets the tone of danger. You don't know who's safe in this film if Drew Barrymore can't even survive. This opening is the perfect example of how to set up an audience for something and pull the rug out from underneath them and give them something else. It was extremely unexpected at the time. Not only was it clever, but it was extremely terrifying. Next, I'm going to be talking about Halloween from 1978. John Carpenter's Halloween follows a group of teenage girls who are being stalked by a mass killer named Michael Myers on Halloween night in 1978. The iconic Halloween film opens on Halloween 1963. The audience sees things through the eyes of the masked killer, and as we follow him through the house behind the mask, we witness as he kills a 17-year-old girl. Soon, it's revealed that the killer is actually a 6-year-old boy named Michael Myers. This opening accomplishes so much without being over the top. It's simple yet effective. The music, the dread, the continuous long take throughout the house as you follow from the point of view of the killer, it's also unnerving. And when it's revealed that the killer is a child, it's shocking. It's one of the most effective openings in horror history, and it's no surprise that Michael Myers became an icon in the horror genre. And my number one pick for the greatest opening in horror history is Jaws. Jaws is the 1975 summer blockbuster from Steven Spielberg about a sheriff in a small coastal town who teams up with a fisherman and a marine biologist to hunt down a man-eating great white shark that's terrorizing the vacationing beachgoers in their little resort town. Jaws opens at dusk on the beach. We're following two young individuals, a female and male, as they playfully run through the sand, and the woman decides she's gonna go skinny dipping. She jumps into the water, and within seconds, she begins being pulled under and attacked violently by a force we cannot see. The camera continues to focus on the woman as she's violently whipped back and forth, and all we hear are her shrieks and cries for help. Soon, she's pulled under entirely, leaving no trace behind. This opening is my absolute worst nightmare. It really highlights how terrifying the ocean is because we can't see what's beneath the surface. We are completely vulnerable once we get into the water, and Jaws is just a nice reminder not to get too comfortable at the beach. This opening is horrifying without having to show us too much, but it shows us just enough. It's gruesome without being bloody, and it's just overall extremely memorable. And there you have it. Those are my favorite opening scenes in horror. What are your favorites? Let me know in the comments down below, and please hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this from me. I talk about horror movies, horror books, anything spooky. And connect with me on social if you want to become spooky besties and talk about spooky shit. And I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.